Hi guys, welcome to Bolt from the Blue Tarot. My name is Sam. It's another beautiful day in the pine forest. And I have some beautiful cards for you. We're going to do an intuitive reading. Just see what comes out. Yeah. I think first we're going to pull from this 78 Tarot Astral deck. To get a starting message. The Hermit. Right out of the gate. I'm very calm right now, but I feel that I'm tapping into someone who is also in a very calm energy. Someone's doing something very interesting with time. I just get like, if you guys have seen Doctor Who, I get really big Time Lord energy from this. There's something you're doing internally not necessarily for everyone. There's something you're doing that is altering the flow of time for you. This can be a number of things. Like, this happens for sports people in intense moments of like sporting matches, or where time moves really slowly. It can happen in a flow state, or it can happen when you're just more present. Yeah. There's something you're doing, or there's a mode of being that you're residing in that is just more present. And it's slowing everything down. You're actually present in your life. If this is you and you have consciously cultivated this as a practice, you have refined your state of being quite a bit. And this is coming into as affirmation. Yeah, you've done really good work. Something I feel very grateful for, and I hope continues to happen, is I'll pull cards and it's like, oh, I'm talking to an adept. I'm talking to someone who's done a lot of spiritual work already. And that is such an honor. Thank you for choosing my readings. For others of you, this is this is a call to notice when time slows down for you. What activity is it? Or what thought states facilitate that? When do you notice time contracting or dilating, moving at a different rate? I think I was in the 5th grade. When I had this thought in class, because it was particularly boring. And, or I guess I was reflecting on how I think like individual classes were 50 to 60 minutes long, something like that. And the day was broken up between them. And some would move so slowly for me. I'll be honest, math has always been one. But even if it was like a topic I enjoyed, but just not a particularly interesting lesson to me personally, time would slow down. But in the way that it slows down when you're a kid, where it just like crawls. Time moves so slowly when you're a kid. Maybe that's another way you can get into this state. Doing things you enjoyed as a child. But I noticed that, the time would seem to change how quickly it would flow depending on the class I was in. And I remember asking some authority figure, a parent, a teacher, something like that. Like, do you think that time flows differently for different people? Like, do you think we're all on our own kind of timetable, and one day will move really quickly for me, but it goes slowly for you, so we're actually at different points in time? And I remember just being like, no. But there is something to that, right? Our perception of time is everything. The hermit. Are you hermiting right now? I feel like this is like taking the qualities of the hermit, the wisdom learned, and weaving them into the fabric of reality, your reality, like of daily life. I think that's the Time Lord energy I'm getting from this. Some wibbly wobbly, timey wimey stuff. Okay, cool. That's an awesome energy. What else? Yeah, okay, I think Oracle of Destiny. This is a deck based on palmistry. Very vibrant art. Oh, what? Bracelet. I never pull this for myself, but it comes out all the time on the channel. I get something a little different from it each time, which is super fun. I think the bracelets here are speaking to me about someone who understands about as within, so without, who might decorate themselves in ways that reflect their being, who might wear their identity. Not their identity. What is this, Spirit? Maybe you aren't very showy, or yeah, this might be encouraging you to so when we're weaving this hermit energy into our daily life, the wisdom that we have brought back from our internal wanderings, we'll often realize things about ourselves or realize, what is not us. And this might be a call to, like mostly on my channel, the advice is about going within and working from that realm of cause, rather than trying to affect things in the outside world first. But I think this might just be like a bit of a hint to someone as you try to embody this wisdom learned or these things that you've learned about yourself, that you can, it's almost like remind yourself of them. If you wear something, it's like, I don't know why I'm getting this. When you, like in a video game or something, when you get an item, and it's like a special item that you can only get from facing this trial or whatever. This might be some encouragement to like decorate yourself a little bit with your wisdom. And it doesn't have to be super showy. Don't make it anything that doesn't feel like you. But as we, like this hermit mode reflects a lot. We learn a lot about who we are and who we aren't. And there's something about this that will help you step into who you know you are. Like for instance, I wear what most people would deem a grotesque number of crystal bracelets. And before getting into, energy and stuff, energy and stuff. That's funny. I just saw a jogger and we like locked eyes and I immediately started downplaying like the energetic truths I've discovered about the universe and about myself. And I just like played small verbally in the moment when we locked eyes. So there's something about this, like, living your truths a little larger in terms of what you present to the outside. And something as small as jewelry is a really good start. Like I would never have worn jewelry. I thought of myself as very pragmatic, but I was also very materialist. So the most ornate I would have gotten was a smartwatch. And that was like a big step for me. I don't wear them anymore because they hold weird energy. I can feel like a strange, I think it's maybe the connection to the phone and all the app stuff going off, but they also have like quartz crystals in them. And I don't know what it is, but after all of this, I found that crystal bracelets like helped to protect my energy because I can very viscerally feel energy moving in and out of my hands, my arms, my left hand and arm is where I feel the energy that I'm receiving. And I found when I put on these crystal bracelets, like if you've been on my channel for a little while, you know that like I was thrown into the energetic deep end. I was kind of activated like a sleeper agent, and all of a sudden I could feel energy. And this was before I had any spiritual background at all. So I had to figure out what the hell was going on, And at first I started with crystal bracelets that just like protective crystals. So the dark ones, the black tourmaline, obsidian, amethyst is also super protective, smoky quartz, that kind of stuff. And it felt a lot better, like a lot better, energetically. And from there, I was like, okay, so I figured out this protects my energy. And if it can block out the bad, surely crystal bracelets can also bring in the good. And I started looking into the different qualities of them and then how they align with the chakra system and everything. And yeah, now I wear quite a few of them, and I've been made fun of quite a bit for them, but they reflect the reality in which I live, and people don't have to understand it. If they could feel what I feel, they would get it pretty fast, and they wouldn't be making fun of it either. So there's something here about like living your truth and wearing your truth, helping you step into that. It's an as within, so without kind of like bounce back reflection effect. And you know, when you're transitioning into a new wardrobe of clothing, or like for a long time I couldn't find any clothes that actually suited me. Like what I wanted to wear as a teenager just didn't exist, and now it does. Everything in stores looks exactly like what I wanted, what I dreamed of wearing. Like just what I imagined should be available for men to wear, but it wasn't, like no one was making it. And now clothing reflects my actual tastes. And so it's like stepping into, it's really like wearing your truth. And if you're deep into this hermit energy, there can be a certain flavor of asceticism to that, where you're like, I'm a minimalist. I don't need all that stuff. Or you're trying to be less materialistic, right? You're actively trying to fight that. If you choose to do this, don't think of it as a materialist impulse. Like it could certainly turn into that. So, you know, be cognizant of the motivation for it, but I don't think you have to worry about that. I think you understand what you're doing, and you would do this mindfully and with purpose, and you would choose specific objects, pieces of jewelry, accoutrement, like, yeah, you're going to choose wisely. And this is just a little bit of encouragement to say like, hey, a physical reminder of our spiritual wins can be super beneficial. If only as a reminder to ourselves, right? It also shows people that we wear our truths. Might someone still like call you out for it because it's not the norm? Yeah, but it says more about them than it does about you, right? It might make conformists uncomfortable, but you're not shoving anything down their throat. You're not saying that they should wear what you're wearing, unlike their perspective, which is exactly that. You should do what they're doing. Oh, why? So, yeah, wear your truths, paint your nails. As within, so without. And sometimes you can do a little bit of peppering in of as without, so within, just as a reminder. I just feel like you need a reminder of everything that you've accomplished. Okay, I think we're doing Tara. Got the first occult tarot here by Robert M. Place. It's an Egyptian themed deck with some really beautiful art. Oh wow, the sun. These two are super naked, and YouTube is not fond of that. But it's a beautiful card. I will say it again. Robert M. Place. If you ever watch this, I'm really sorry that I cover up your art. But this sun card is union. Shining on the union of men and women. It has the Eye of Horus on it. And the two eyes of Horus, the left and the right, are the moon and the sun, respectively, and they're the integration of the masculine and the feminine. Horus is the son of Osiris and Isis, the divine masculine and the divine feminine. And while he is like a solar, we think of him as like sky, solar, masculine deity, he represents the balance as well. And he brings balance by avenging his father on Set, his evil uncle. This can be a hint about the jewelry, or the decoration. Like, you may want to look into Egyptian spiritual symbols. I know I wear an Ankh necklace, and it has the left eye of Horus on it, and I wear a ring with the right one, just like the sun and moon energies. Those are the only Egyptian symbols that I wear, but you know, it's daily, it's all the time. And a lot of Western magic goes back to Egypt. A lot of Western spiritual ideas goes back to Egypt. They're representative of a tradition and also of protection. And of spiritual attainment. So for someone, there's some encouragement here that the eyes of Horus and the Ankh may be significant. The Ankh is a symbol of, a lot of people think of it as a symbol of the divine feminine, but it's also a symbol of the sacredness of life, sacred life, and of Isis as a deity of divine magic, among other things. It is protective. I think sometimes like these symbols have meaning that go into the deep unconscious of humanity. They have meaning in the quantum. They have meaning to spirit. And by wearing them, you send a message, not just to the humans around you, but to spirit as well. I'm just getting this energy of like you being this hermit, like incorporating these aspects of the hermit. And I don't mean just like the strange recluse or the quiet person or the introvert. I mean the person who has gained spiritual knowledge by way of their search. I'm just getting this high priest, high priestess energy. Like you've gained this knowledge and you ought to wear it. You need to step into like your rank almost. Yeah. This is an interesting message. Someone here is wondering about how well they're progressing in terms of integrating their divine masculine and divine feminine aspects. You're doing well. The Sun is an amazing card to pull in any reading, but especially in the context of this. Let's see what else from the first occult tarot. Justice. Yeah, the goal of the sage. So this is answering that question again, like just affirmation. I think a lot of this is affirmation for someone of their level of attainment, that their hard work is paying off. You are balancing out energetically. That's what justice is. We tend to think of it like, if you watch a lot of other readers, they'll talk about like human justice, interpersonal justice. But justice, when we think about karma, is just like an energetic balance. It's a yin and yang. It is like the balance that nature restores. That is universal justice. When the earth heals itself, it's just restoring balance. Like, that is justice. You're coming into this balanced energy. Perfectly balanced scales. I feel like in particular in this reading, it's about the masculine and the feminine. I'm very proud of you, whoever you are. You've done difficult work in spaces like this, in the quiet. I suspect that very few people understand all that you have done. You might not even fully understand it yourself. I think this is some encouragement coming through from your guides to say, you've accomplished so much. And they would, I'm just seeing like, when they destroy the Death Star and they give they give Han and Luke and Chewie and is that all? Why doesn't Leia get one? Is she awarding them? They give them medals for destroying the Death Star. Spoiler for Star Wars Episode 4, you guys. But I'm just seeing that like award ceremony, and this is what your guides would give you if they could. Yeah, this is what Spirit, your higher self, your angels, whoever you work with across the veil, this is what they would give to you. if they could. That big award ceremony. And then Chewbacca would go, in your honor. But they can't, so this very balanced card is coming out instead. And I think there's a little bit of wordplay going on here where they want you to decorate yourself. It doesn't necessarily have to be physical, but you should have some reminder of your attainment. And if it is physical, there's something about, and this goes back to ancient Egyptian magic, there's something about making something physical. It has an effect, right? That's why they say, like, write it down, speak it out loud. We ground power through these actions and through these symbolic items. Yeah. An item of spiritual power would help you ground your achievement into reality and into your own subconscious as well. Because we can be very dismissive, especially if we're highly driven on our spiritual path. And we can say, like, I know I accomplished that. Like, I know. Like, consciously, I recognize it. But it's not the same thing as subconsciously knowing it, like feeling it in your bones. And there are some things we have to do, or we can do, to help ourselves more fully embody that. When we talk about embodying something, it's not just putting on a mask, right? Like, I am embodied the role, like if you're a really good actor, it's an act of, I imagine, empathy, right? With the role that you're playing, you're fully embodying the feelings of that character, of that person. If you're not a good actor, then you're just dressing up like someone else. So this is an embodied knowing. Yeah. No, I brought my storybook deck, but it feels like you don't need any advice. I think I'm being told that's it for the cards. So I hope that this affirmation came at the exact right time for you. I speak a little bit slowly, especially when I'm like sifting through information and channeling, but I don't think that bothers you. I think you're moving into a slower pace and one that is more aligned. This probably didn't tell you anything you didn't already know, just a couple of useful hints or a little nod and wink from your guides. It was a privilege to deliver this message. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, guys.